team worked very, very hard, and they were also able to publish blogs, two blogs each. Some of them were able to do more than 2 blogs. And although this, by the time we get here, I'm sure it was a very bitter and sweet journey for them. They'll confess by themselves. We are delighted to have the opportunity to engage and build the capacity of the young professionals cohort as KIPPRA. That is specifically on research and policy analysis with the young professionals has not only sharpened their analytical skills, but it has enhanced their soft skills. Some of them came and they were very, very shy, but now I think they can speak in front of people. And therefore, I can say with all the confidence that the team is actually ready for employment wherever they'll be lucky to work. And I can confess that they will confidently undertake their assignments. Therefore, today we are actually here to celebrate the achievements. That is the achievement of the 17th cohort of the young professionals. We'll also give them awards in form of certificates and other award that I would want to say what it is. And last but not least, we'll network with them, get to know them, and also they'll also be able to have a chance to also get to know our board members. Yeah, and once again, I wish to welcome all of you to this event, and I wish you success in today's celebrations. Thank you.
The program that began in 2003, and when it began, KIPPRA was just about maybe 5 years after it had opened its doors. And I want to take back when KIPPRA started so that we can see the history of this program. Remember, KIPPRA was established in 1997. It opened its doors officially in 1999. And we are saying this program started in 2003. And I know what else also started within that time, and which we are proud of, and that is the KIPPRA Treasury Macro Model. The same time that it was being put together. The program fulfills the very first function of KIPPRA as spelled out in the KIPPRA Act 2006, that we have to build capacities for governments and other stakeholders so that we can prepare them to make contribution in the public policy process. And when we say stakeholders, one may assume that I am not a stakeholder because I am a young professional. You are a stakeholder. You are the brain. You have the tool. And therefore, you are a stakeholder in the public policy process. So after the program started in 2003, we were being supported by ACBF, the African Capacity Building Foundation. That time, we were recruiting 10 young professionals. Over time, we have grown with support from TTI, and now with the support from the government. We moved to 12. Now we are 14 to reflect also the various areas that we actually do research in. And soon, we are also going to tap into the counties. It's one of the targets that we have, so that as all of you are introducing, and you can hear there is a department, there is a government, state department that seemingly is very fond of KIPPRA, trade and foreign, the State Department of Trade. Not only are we graduating some of them today. Not only have we also stolen one of them that graduated before this team, but we have been given another 5 from that State Department of Trade. It means that the program is making a difference to them. So it is actually fulfilling then what was the intention of this program, and that is to fill gaps in the policy making and analysis for the youth who are starting their career in government, and also the youth are starting career even in private sector. So the program aims to enhance your technical competence in public reform agenda. One of the key things that the government want to see is strengthening of the public policy making process with evidence-based policy making as a priority, so that we can prioritize and base the policies on what is going on and what is a priority to the country. So, as Nancy has said, there are many things that the young professionals go through. One of the things that we take them through is to understand the development agenda of this country. So don't just come to the program and assume, oh, I'm just here, well, I'll make a contribution. No, you need to understand the development agenda so that you know the public policy and where the government is taking the country as far as its agenda is concerned. We also want you to have an independent mind in conceptualizing, seeing things, knowing so much, but communicating in a few words. We are always told that policymakers are always in a hurry. They don't have that time to read 30-page, 40-page document. They want you to give them a summary of all that you know in a 1-pager, 2 pages. But it must be informative. And that is why we ask them to prepare the blog as a first step in them being able to conceptualize, understand a policy idea, and how they can put it together. In addition, as they are allocated to the different departments, the aim is not for them to understand what that department is all about. The aim is for exposing them to other activities of the Institute, because we want them to learn on the job. I'm very happy to say that some of them were very active. For example, when we were preparing our 3rd conference, we got a very good support. And that is the thing that we are looking for, because at the end of the day, when you are given a job, it will not be just that it's just documents only. And so don't ask me about anything else. I'm just dealing with a document. No. You need to know who is to read this document. How does the person who is going to read this document want it in what form? How can I communicate it better? How can I network with the stakeholders who form the public policy process? So all these things to me mean that our program is actually a mini PhD program. because the products that you have to deliver actually make up almost a full thesis that you do if you are doing a PhD program. We've come from far, and now we have the counties. And we would want to see that Taita Taveta, Mombasa, Machakos, Wajir, and all these counties are proud to say that they have one person who has graduated and gone back to support them in pushing their agenda. So since then, we have graduated over 100 young professionals, and I'm proud to say also that majority of them are in good places. Some of them have gone back to the ministry, like Qatar has said. Others have grown bigger wings and have joined the bigger crowd, so, and supporting still. But if you ask yourself where you are operating from now, you'll see that you are a stakeholder in what needs to be done as far as the development agenda is concerned. So you're not lost wherever you are. We've received feedback from not just this group, but even previous groups. But there's one thing that I want to challenge this team because they never managed to achieve. There was one YP, I think she was called Carol. She was very excited she's going to give us the alumni. You failed to give us that alumni. You told us you have all the gymnastics of doing it. You never did it for us. I challenge you that even as you are outside, that can you form a group that can actually move to putting together the alumni. We've gotten responses that yes, you've gained skills in policy making process. We've also gotten response that you have now the ability to publish, and that you have managed to enhance your understanding of governance and government operations. Those are key. Whether you're in private sector or you're in the civil societies, you need to know which door in the government structure that I need to network with, or I need to knock for different elements. So for me, I don't want to take a lot of time. I just want to say that as an institute, we are very proud of this flagship program. And over time, we are learning, and we want to perfect it, and we want to go far. You can see when you left, the previous team didn't have gowns. You can see we have made a step, yeah? You are graduating with gowns. The next team will parade better, and we'll have many coming in. So it is a learning step, and we are ready to run. So for me is to wish you well in your future endeavors, and hope that when you have an opportunity to work with us at KIPPRA, please don't feel shy to come back and work with us. When you are at the vicinities of that's Bishop's Garden Tower, just say hello. Even having a cup of tea is okay, isn't it? Yeah. Remembering where you came from is always good, because you never know when you'll need the institution actually to support you going forward. So I want to stop there and say karibuni sana. Thanks.
So to the board members present, the executive director, KIPPRA management, the graduating YPs, the 2019-2020 cohort, those of the 2020-2021 cohort, invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to start by quoting Franklin Roosevelt, who said, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." Roosevelt was the 32nd president of the USA and who came into power during the Great Depression. He was also a person with disability and the only president who has served the US for more than 2 terms. Looking at us today and seeing where the COVID-19 pandemic has put the whole world, that is into an economic depression, every policymaker, whether in public or private sector, is seeking for options to secure the lives and livelihoods of each one of us. So this makes me feel delighted witnessing this graduation of the 17th cohort of young professionals, knowing that we're releasing to the market experts to help think through solutions to the prevailing problem. You, the graduands, stand on a privileged position as youth, adequately armed with the tools of policy making. And as the saying goes, the youth of a nation are the trustees of prosperity. Therefore, help us to navigate the ravage of the pandemic and prosper. This is the single most important issue of our time today. Individually, become the center to attract public policy debate, even in the media and social media. Put your ideas together for a media article and even for a publishable paper. As long as you remain objective, your thoughts will make a difference to the lives of Kenyans. Build a solid foundation for yourselves. Most of all, be a KIPPRA ambassador to other young people. Ladies and gentlemen, you will notice that there are colleagues in the board who are here with us today to witness this occasion. This demonstrates their seriousness and how, in the esteem with which they hold this capacity building program. So as a flagship program, the board is committed to ensuring that the Institute delivers on one of its core mandates of building capacity for public policy making processes. We cherish the 12 months that you are at the Institute, where they taught you that without hard work and discipline, it is difficult to be a professional at the top. You're aware, of course, that public policy making is a rigorous process which requires analyzing data to put together evidence and produce policy options. The program you just completed has prepared you to learn how to soil your hands at this initial stage of your career. That is the only way to practice perfectly. I feel proud that as an institute, we have produced a product that can support the policymakers in thinking through the policy options for the betterment of our livelihood. As the saying goes, the best way to predict the future is to create it. In you, we have created the future. You all come from counties. I don't know how many of you have attended a public participation forum to give your view on a development agenda or policy framework. How many have? On Facebook? Yeah? Several counties have indicated that they are struggling to put policy documents together and even to have appropriate evidence to guide their policy making. With the knowledge gathered through the program, you stand a better position to support the counties to be able to deliver the services that the public desires through engagement. You won't get where you want to go by stumbling into it by accident, but you must take deliberate action. For this reason, it is appreciated. The feedback that you have been able to give to the Institute will go a long way to make this program even better. Ladies and gentlemen, the saying goes, he who says it cannot be done should stand aside and let those who are doing do so. I really do feel proud to see this occasion today. It's something that has been spoken about in the board committees, something that the programs committee has spoken about and even been able to bring to the board, and the board supported. The ED has discussed it, and I do remember the first YP graduation. There was one that was in Mombasa during the annual KIPPRA conference, the one that was on the gender issue. And the YPs came to Mombasa, and then we had this function where there was a big crowd around them, and then they graduated. And I think that's where the question came, who can distinguish the graduands and who can distinguish? How do you know who are the graduands and how do you know who's the crowd? So then the question of, having, gowns to be able to make the occasion solemn as required, but also be able to distinguish that also, that's one of the things that also informs this. Then, of course, it goes through the process, and I just want to congratulate the ED together with management for making this possible, because I do remember the last one was during the office, the end of year office party, yeah? Where the graduands, I think the ones seated at the behind, that's where you graduated, isn't it? Is it? Okay. Then now today, I mean, this is, steps further. But today at least you have, these gowns, and you're able to go through a solemn process like this, I think is great. Now, listening to Dr. Nancy, recounting the papers that each one of you has written, I remembered them. I remembered them because I took part in that day that you had where you were presenting your papers, and there were also industry people who joined, isn't it? Yeah, I think because you did these papers in various industries, and they were part of that virtual forum. And you presented your papers, and there was conversation and that sort of thing. So I remembered those papers, which I believe that you must have then, improved on and made better. Perhaps in the next one, I would hope that those industry players would also be part of this graduation, because sincerely, I think it would have been wonderful for them to be able to see you graduating today, writing papers on what it is that they do as an industry. But they always say that we have to start from somewhere, isn't it? Today we have started like this, and the vision that I see of the future, even when we are long gone, is that one day, when the KIPPRA campus has been built, the board, of course, taking that challenge and taking it forward, that when there'll be a KIPPRA campus, we shall have very many YPs who will be graduating. I think you know the model of the Kenya School of Law, because the Kenya School of Law, of course, is a place where law students who've already graduated from the university go to get that. It used to be, first of all, 6 months, then 1 year, then now 18 months. This one for the YPs is 12 months. So it's a post-bachelor's period where they go through these different lessons. They even do the practicals, etc., etc. So one day, and currently the population of students there is 2,000 plus. So one day I see these gowns literally filling a field, and where we shall have a procession. The next one, Dr. Nafula, a brass band, which will lead people into the room. So this is a great start. I honestly and truly commend you. And then I just want to say that choose your paths. You have been at KIPPRA for 1 year. There are those who have, KIPPRA management, and then we have the YPs who've just joined us. You can choose how you want to spend your time. The fact that you're an economist or that you've done policy does not mean you cannot knit, and that you cannot have the best shop in town that has got knitted items. It does not mean that you cannot be a sports man or woman. It does not mean that you cannot be the best parent, because some of you are parents and are going to be parents. It does not mean that you cannot be the best mentor, because each one of you has mentors. They could be in KIPPRA, they could be elsewhere. And now yourself, you are a mentor for those who are sitting at the back there. It does not mean that you cannot be the best politician, or the best community leader, or the best blogger, the best innovator, the best creator. So what am I saying? Live a wholesome life and spend your time wisely. Wherever it is that you've gone, spend your time wisely. Time waits for no man. One day you're 17, as the ED has said. The next time you're 37, and the next time you're 57. You don't want to live your life looking in the rear view mirror and thinking that you wasted your time. How do you waste your time? You waste your time by failing to take advantage of the opportunities that there are in your environment. I keep on saying this. I'm the chair today, and I'll not be the chair tomorrow. Somebody else is going to come, isn't it? The board as well. Even the ED. Even each one of you. You're here for a time, for a season, isn't it? So something else I would like to say, ifikie gava kwamba, that KIPPRA imeanzisha this program of we are contributing to the nation, isn't it? Through this graduation of the YPs and those who've gone past, we are contributing to the government agenda. Which other government institution apart from universities are producing manpower in this way? I'm sure if I think about it, there are others, but I want to talk about KIPPRA. So it's good for us to be able to shout about it, ED to shout about it, yeah? You remember that we went with you, Bwananzomo, the ED, when we went to defend the monies of KIPPRA. And personally, I was very frightened because I was thinking, oh my God, they're going to chop off so much money from KIPPRA. And so they call you into these little rooms there at the National Treasury. I don't know, Bonagitao, if it is deliberate to intimidate us. So you sit there and there's this panel there of, really tough looking people. And so when we introduced ourselves, and the gentleman there said he knows KIPPRA because he knows the KIPPRA YPs. And the moment he said that, and he spoke so highly, you could see that he was on the side of KIPPRA. So without much ado, today we're joined by the 18th cohort of young professionals. It means the program is getting to maturity, and any ideas that can help build a firm foundation are most welcome. For the new young professionals, learn from your brothers and sisters.
So my journey was slightly different from Sabina's. I started off at the National Hospital Insurance Fund, where I was an intern. I was there for about 8 months, but in this duration, it was around the time they were rolling out the UHT program. So I wrote a piece on universal healthcare and agenda lens on that, and I shared it with my boss, who shared it with the director, who then called me to his office and told me he doesn't think NHIS is the place for me, that I should look for an institution called KIPPRA, and however I am going to enter, I should find a way to join KIPPRA. So I applied for Young Professional Program in 2018. Unfortunately, I didn't get it the first time I applied, but I applied for internships and research assistants as well. So I joined as an intern in the capacity building department. And while there, I was privileged to watch Charles' journey and his teams. And I was sure from that point that I needed to find a way to join the Young Professionals program. So I worked tirelessly at capacity building, and the advert came around again 1 year later, and I applied again. Thankfully, this time I got in, and I do not regret the experience. The growth I witnessed with Dennis and Isaac, I was very close to Dennis and Isaac at the time, and when I joined KIPPRA, they were telling me about city governance structures and counties, and I was completely clueless. And towards the end of the journey, how eloquent he had become, how he was able to articulate policy issues. The Dennis I knew when I joined KIPPRA was definitely not the Dennis that I knew after. So, through him, he's a big inspiration. He fostered that need to join the program as well.
In KIPPRA, when I was doing my undergraduate studies in Kenyatta University, through my lecturers, because they were consulting with KIPPRA, and they used to encourage us to work hard. They used to tell us, you have this young professional program, you guys need to put more effort, but the program requires a minimum master's degree. So it started around 2013, 2014. And then after that, I graduated. I got a job in the ministry. And then I decided to go back to school because I wanted to join this program. When I was doing my master's program, I met a research assistant in the computer lab. And then he told me there is this program which requires a minimum master's degree. And then when I finished my master's, I decided to give it a try. But before that, my colleague, whom you decided to snatch from us, Malot, and applied for this, and he was successful, and we could share a lot with him. I could ask him what goes on there, and he could encourage me. Come the next applications, I did my application, and I realized you guys wanted an endorsement from the peers. That letter, I never knew whether I could get it, but somehow I got it. And that's how I got in KIPPRA. Thank you.
I used to work at Gen Africa Asset Managers, which is a finance firm, and also my background is finance. So my immediate boss used to encourage us that if you want to go a notch higher in finance, it's good to understand about research, how the fixed markets operate, or how the bonds operate, what influences these other factors. So it's good to get a research background. So that's why I heard about KIPPRA, and when I went through the website, I found that there were various departments, private sector, SC. So that's when I became interested. I applied for the YP program. Fortunately, I was selected, and through the program, I've been learning a lot, and I can say I've acquired much of the skills.
My journey really was motivated by a former YP in KIPPRA, it's Anthony, and right now a PhD candidate in Japan. So Anthony and I schooled in the same country for a master's program. So I remember when Anthony was just going to go for his PhD, I sat down with him and he was talking about the experience that he had had going through the KIPPRA YP. He talked about being able to work and contribute to the KIPPRA, the discussion papers I was working, and even post YP, how he was interviewing for this big international organization, and he had a master's scholarship and a PhD scholarship. And then I asked myself, if Anthony was able to really be empowered that much by being in 1 year in KIPPRA, what can I learn from joining in KIPPRA? That was in 2018. I think I was not motivated enough that was in 2017. 2018, I was not motivated enough to apply. Come 2019, he still insisted that this is the right organization, given the career path that you want to be in social impact. And at that time, I just transitioned from being a research assistant, a position where I felt I had outgrown. So seeing the job responsibilities of the YP, I felt like probably this is something that would reposition me in terms of my skills, in terms of my career, where I want to go in the future. So that's what really motivated me to join the YP program.
I'm tempted to have a story like everyone else on the planet, but apparently I don't. Because I stumbled into YP. I graduated 2013 with finance for my undergrad. So I've been working in the mainstream finance for around 4 years, up to 2017 when I went back to do my PhD. Well, if you've worked in the mainstream finance, I'll tell you for sure the work is pretty routine, pretty non-cognitive, and can be boring. So, while I was looking for something that can actually engage me, I think I was even quoting a World Bank YPP that I saw a similar program for Kenyans. So yeah, so that's how I got to know about KIPPRA, and I gave it a try. So when I got the invitation for the interview, I even forgot it, so yes. But from what I've gotten from KIPPRA, I'll tell you for sure, because I still teach in the university, I'm always telling my students, please, make an effort. In fact, I even feel this would have been better if I didn't cram my PhD, because it would have been a bit easy.
I
have grown in leaps and bounds. If I was supposed to compare myself to a software, you see how software has evolved. At times when I look back, I think I gave my former employer a wrong deal. Because what KIPPRA has shown me I can do is things that I cannot put it in words. So moving forward, I'm going to be a better, I already am a better professional. Initially, I just wanted to be an economist and a researcher, but currently, even when I'm doing my research, I have an end goal in mind. My research is going to be policy-oriented. So I'm doing my research, how is it going to inform policy? Is it going to change the status quo, or is it going to make it better? So I can say without an iota of doubt that I am not making where I have been look small. I'm very thankful of the small steps I've made in terms of growing from an intern to an assistant to a YP. I'm just sure that the experience I've had as a YP for the 1 year is going to shape me, and I'm going to be a better policy analyst. That I can say without any doubt. And I don't know whether this still answers your question. I know where I have been in terms of being a researcher and an economist, but I can't tell where I'm going to be in the future. What I can tell you for sure is, with the knowledge I've gathered and the networks I've formed with my colleagues, I'm going to be someone who's good at what I do. Thank you.
What I've gained. I could sit here for hours and discuss what I've gained, but I'll try to the extent possible to be as brief as possible. I mean, it's in the name of KIPPRA, Public Policy Research and Analysis. My research skills before I joined KIPPRA, even when I was in the capacity building, cannot be compared to my research skills now. My ability to deliver is something really exceptional now following the program. Where I work now, I've been tasked with 2 articles to deliver overnight, and I have managed to deliver them. Something I can guarantee you I would not have done 1 year ago. But this was said by our YP in last year's graduation, and I think it applies to us as well. We go forward, even writing, as we think about what would ED say, or what would ED ask. So like you would draft your brief, your blog, or your article, and you send it to ED's office, and she'd ask you, but where's the data? You tell her, I don't know where the data is, there's no data. She'll tell you there's data, go find it. And you're forced to go and explore options and figure things out. And I think now I definitely don't have data struggles or issues articulating my policy, like issues articulating policy generally. I think I've learned a lot as well about how government works. And currently I'm in the CSO space. So I think there was, even where I work, a lack of understanding on how to approach government as a whole, who to reach out to, who handles what. So I think through various engagements, I've learned that. I've learned the various levels of government, who is in charge where, who to reach out to, even within KIPPRA, to get to another institution. So I think that has been a major takeaway for me. And versatility. I think I have done everything under the sun in KIPPRA. I came from NSIF, obviously with the mindset that I'm coming to do research in health. I am going to find my way into social sector so that I can do research in health. I found my way into capacity building. Through capacity building, as I had mentioned, I think in some video that we took some time back, I was very soft-spoken initially. I didn't like to talk much. I just wanted to implement and keep it moving. But through capacity building, my public speaking skills have greatly improved. I can tell you for a fact that in terms of research, I have not just done health. I have done health, yes, but I have done education. I have done things in private sector. I wrote a paper on manufacturing. I have worked with governance, Dr. Kiboy. I have really worked with everyone under the sun. And even as I was transitioning out of KIPPRA, I was fortunate enough to get a job IESD related. It wasn't as difficult to transition into that given the kind of exposure that I had coming in.
And last, but not actually last, I have 2 more points, but the second last one is partnerships and resource mobilization. I was privileged to be part of the conference committee the last 2 years. And again, through ED, I remember we went for a meeting one time, and midway through the meeting, she goes like, Samantha, what did you think? I had no thoughts. So I can guarantee you that now I walk into meetings very prepared. I know exactly what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it. I know how to make partnerships and engagements count. I know what to ask for, when to ask for them, and who to approach and how to do so. So I think partnerships, engagements, and networking has been a major plus for me. And lastly, I was privileged enough to be cohort lead for the former YPD, sorry. And I think leadership is something that you really underestimate. You underestimate how much it can do for you in future responsibilities and roles. But I learned the element of responsibility at a very young age. I also learned team dynamics and how to work in groups and how to make everyone's contribution count as well. So I think those are some things that I would definitely take away from the program and which are currently helping me.
What I enjoy most in this program is the classroom setup, the trainings. And why am I saying this? Because among the many things I've been struggling with to understand, for example, how to come up with a problem statement in a research paper. My lecturers have been taking me left, right, and center, the master's program. I've never gotten it clearly, until when I came to KIPPRA. When Dr. Nancy Nafula broke it down, that's when I understood exactly what entails a persuasive problem statement, whereby you have to explain first what's the goal, what's the desired state of the problem you want to solve, what's the reality on the ground, and what prevents the goal to be achieved, and what are some of the consequences which will come if you fail to address this issue. So indeed, you mark for me, I think I've gotten it right. Yes, thank you.
The first point, as my colleagues can agree with me, is coping up with stress levels. You are given multiple tasks and you have to complete within a certain deadline, and they all fall within the same deadline. So you're like, what should I take first? And when you submit, the number of comments that come, what's going on? You don't put it the best, this much comments are coming back. So, right now, I can come up with stress no matter what you And another thing is teamwork. You know, when you write a blog or you write some research, you always look at a particular dimension or particular direction of the program. But when you gather around the team and discuss, everybody brings a different perspective on the same thing so that you can look broadly and be all facets of the program so you can address it.
Thank you so much for your effort and your time. Thank you so much. All right, so we will have it shared across board, so I'll cut it into smaller pieces and then we can have each one get some. Asante.
Okay.
Just hold on. Just hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Let's go.
Don't be like that. Stand out.
Chini.